Who was from Pittsburgh, wrote wonderful songs, My Old Kentucky Home, Swanee River, and Oh Susannah, and many more very important songs. I wanted to talk about composers, the great composers. The composers are pianists. I don't mean that they just played the piano. I mean they are pianists. They are concert pianists. Beethoven, Mozart, Schumann, Chopin, Liszt, Brahms, many others, Rachmaninoff, you name it, they all were concert pianists. And of course, not all composers are concert pianists, but they played the piano. Richard Wagner, there is no greater composer. He certainly was not a concert pianist and did not, he conducted, but of course he played the piano. If you are a violinist, an oboe player, bassoon, French horn, trombone, trumpet, cello, you are playing one note at a time. The instrument plays one note at a time. Cello, violin sometimes play more than one note, but that's rare. Almost all the time these instruments, the instruments of the orchestra and the instruments of ensemble playing, play one note. And of course singers can play only one note at a time. But the composers, from the moment they start the piano, and they start it young, they are children, they play the piano, and they hear, although I think Leonard Bernstein was 10 before he had piano lessons, I think an aunt gave them a piano, and such a wonderful composer he is, and a concert pianist. But most of them were quite young. But the piano means that you will hear a lot of notes together. It won't be one note. It will be the tune and the harmony. Sometimes 2 notes, 3, 4, 5, but there might be 6 or 8 notes being played at the same time. So the composers heard music in its entirety, including the tune, the rhythm, the harmony, and that part of the harmony that we call counterpoint. And we've talked about the harmony, so we might talk about the counterpoint. Point, counter, point. One note related to another note. Now that's the tune and the rhythm. And with the harmony. So what about the counterpoint? Sometimes the main counterpoint is the bass note, the lowest note. So the tune is the highest note, and the counterpoint might be the lowest note. Besides the counterpoint, we have notes in between, and that indicates the harmony. And let's not forget about this tune. This tune, an old tavern song from England, is by John Stafford Smith. He is the composer of this tune. And when Francis Scott Key wrote his great Anthem, he had this tune in mind, and that's why he wrote, "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light."